community of RML National Law University came together during the second wave of COVID 19 under the COVID Relief RML NLU initiative. The team initiated a toll free helpline and promptly responded to distress calls. They created databases for plasma, oxygen, and bed availability. The initiative was spearheaded by the Legal Aid Committee and Legal Aid Clinic of RML NLU. Musex proudly recognizes second wave superheroes RML NLU students.
Hello and welcome to Musex's Second Wave Superheroes. I am Ujasvi Shahan and today I am joined with Harsh Gupta, who is the joint convener of the Legal Aid Committee of RML NLU. Welcome to the show, Harsh.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting us.
So Harsh, along with more young people like him, has been doing some really good work. During the second wave of coronavirus, he and his team, in fact, practically helped a lot of people. Harsh, I would like to begin by asking you that how exactly were you able to help people?
So initially, the people from the Legal Aid Committee and the Legal Aid Clinic of RML and LU started this initiative on 19th of April 2021 with a group of 30 to 40 people. So as and when we progressed, we had more people who joined this initiative. So this included the RML and LU Alumni Association, student volunteers from our college and student volunteers from the Delhi University. So first of all, we started a toll-free helpline number and activated our social media platforms to spread awareness and sensitize people regarding the same. We started looking for leads on Twitter, Instagram, and various other and different government websites. So when there would be calls on our helpline number, the concerned person who picks up the call will forward the lead to the concerned team, and the team would then look for the database or any other government website and will verify the leads. And if we have a confirmed lead, then we will pass it on to the person who called us and we will help that person. We also started a blood donation drive and plasma donation with the help of Blood Connect. And in that, we had people from our college and the colleagues and everyone who wanted to donate plasma or blood. And therefore, at the later period, when the requirements of plasma donation, blood donation was on its peak, so we also helped a lot of people in getting those two things too.
That's great. Also, Harsh, tell us about what motivated you to do this, because not a lot of young people step up in such situations to help people.
So the Legal Aid Committee has always been associated with legal and social assistance. So since most of us come from a position of privilege, that makes it imperative for us to assist the people in need. We wanted to do the little we could to help the people during these tough times, and that is what motivated us as a team to start this initiative. When we went to our college and we talked about this to our professors, so our Vice Chancellor, Professor S.K. Bhatnagar, and the committee chairperson, Dr. Manish Singh, were more than happy to help, and under their guidance, we started this initiative. And also with the support of the administration of the college and finance department, it was a really good teamwork that we were able to pull this off.
All right, thanks for sharing that information. I would also like to ask you that since you were in direct contact with patients and their families, so are there any emotional moments that moved you or were really emotional that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yes, there was just one call I remember, which we received at around 3:30 a.m. in the morning from Shahjahanpur. So it's somewhere near Bulandshahr or somewhere. So they called us at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, and the patient was a girl who was 18 to 20 years of age, and they told us that they have 12 hours to live. Like she had 12 hours to live, and she did ventilator for the same. So we asked them if they could shift the patient to somewhere else because that place did not have ventilators at that time, or the hospitals were occupied. So we arranged a bed at 4:15 a.m. in the morning. In Lucknow, there was this one A1 hospital where we arranged the bed, and then we also arranged an ambulance for them. And then at 8 a.m. when we called them back to check whether the girl has been taken to the hospital or not, they said that the girl has been taken and now is under hospital care. So we realized that one help of us could save a life, because the people are not really tech savvy and they could not call all of the people. And so it really moved us all emotionally, because that was one thing where we saved a life.
That's amazing. Also, what expectations do you have from the authorities? How could authorities have been more helpful that for your initiative or in general?
So what we figured out is, during the initial days of the pandemic, most of the resources were not under the direct control of the government, and people had to look for isolated leads to fulfill their requirements. The the family members of the patients were running here and there for the life-saving drugs and everything, because they do not have information on where to go or where they would find the things which they require. So later on, when the government undertook everything under their control, it was easier for the patients, since the people who were admitted or who needed these life-saving drugs were directly given from the hospitals to the patient, and therefore the people do not have to travel or look for other things. So we believe if the process is structured well, then it could save patients from a lot of confusion and chaos. So like, we also expect the authority to sensitize about the pandemic and its implications, the need to get tested and take necessary precautions like wearing a mask or using sanitizer, so that patients don't lose their lives due to lack of knowledge.
Thanks for making that point. I would now like to ask you that how should India prepare for further waves which experts suggest are now inevitable?
So first of all, what we experience is the government should undertake measures to prevent black marketing, overuse and wastage of life-saving medicines, so that it becomes readily available and directly available to the patients via hospitals. So in rural areas, higher level of sensitization will create the necessary awareness for people to take precautions and get themselves tested earlier if they detect symptoms. This will prevent the spread of the virus too. Also, awareness should be spread regarding compulsory vaccination, and people should be advised to get themselves tested and stay at home or in isolation, or get themselves admitted to a hospital if they develop serious symptoms. And in no way there should be anything which could, elevate the pandemic or spread the pandemic by people who are negligent or who are not following the protocols or the rules of the government. So we need a stricter sanitization and knowledge of the people. That
Yes. Thanks, Harsh, for joining us today, and thanks for all the good work that you and your team have been doing for the society. Thanks for joining us again.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.